There's someone, you know exactly who I'm talking about. You don't even have to think about it. Their name just appeared in your head. You notice when they're in the room. You replay conversations you've had with them. You've thought about telling them, probably more times than you'd admit, but you haven't, and you won't, at least not yet. And the question nobody asks is, why? You're not a coward. You're not incapable. So what is actually stopping you? Everyone assumes people stay silent because they're afraid of rejection. And yes, that's part of it. But research says the real reason goes much deeper than that. Psychologists call it the uncertainty principle of attraction. Here's what it means. Right now in your head, this person could like you back. You don't know for sure. And that possibility, that maybe, is incredibly powerful. Your brain is actually addicted to it. A study by researcher Aaron Whitchurch found that people were more attracted to someone when they weren't sure how that person felt about them, compared to someone who they knew liked them. The uncertainty itself creates obsession. So part of you is staying silent on purpose, because the moment you tell them, the maybe disappears, and your brain doesn't want to lose that feeling. Here's something even more interesting. In your head, you've already had this conversation hundreds of times. You've imagined the perfect moment, the perfect words, what they'd say, how you'd feel, but you've also imagined the worst version. And here's the psychological trap. Your brain weighs the bad outcome twice as heavily as the good one. This is called loss aversion, a concept from Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman. Humans feel the pain of loss roughly twice as intensely as the pleasure of gain. So even if there's a 50-50 chance they like you back, your brain calculates it as if rejection is almost certain. You're not being irrational, you're being human, but your brain is lying to you about the odds. So instead of saying anything, you do something else. You look for signs. They texted back fast. That means something. They remembered something small you said 2 months ago. Definitely something. They laughed a little longer at your joke than everyone else. Clearly something. Sound familiar? This is your brain trying to resolve the uncertainty without taking the risk. It's called confirmation bias. Your mind selectively notices everything that supports what it already wants to believe. You're building a case that never quite feels complete enough to act on. And it never will, because you're not really looking for proof. You're looking for a guarantee, and feelings don't come with guarantees. There's one more layer to this that most people never talk about, and it might be the most important one. Telling someone you like them isn't just risking rejection from them. It's risking a change in how you see yourself. Right now, you are someone whose feelings are private, protected. If you never say it, you never have to face what their answer means about your worth, your attractiveness, your desirability, your enoughness. Psychologists call this self-concept protection. Silence isn't just avoiding their rejection. It's protecting your image of yourself. As long as you don't ask, you can't fail, you stay safe, and you stay stuck. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. The longer you stay silent, the more this person stops being a real person in your mind and becomes a feeling, an idea, a fantasy you've constructed from selected moments and wishful thinking. You're not falling for them anymore. You're falling for the version of them that lives in your head. And that version is perfect because you built it. Real relationships require risk. They require showing your actual self to another actual person and saying, "Here I am." The fantasy never asks that of you, which is why the fantasy always feels safer. And the tragedy is, some people spend years choosing the thought bubble over the real conversation. Not because they're weak, because the brain makes the thought bubble feel like enough. So what do you actually do? First, understand that the fear is not about them. It's about you. It's about what their answer will mean to the story you tell about yourself. Once you know that, it loses some of its power. Second, reframe what rejection actually is. Rejection doesn't mean you're not enough. It means you're incompatible with one specific person at one specific moment in time. That's it. It says nothing permanent about your value. Third, or ask yourself honestly, what is the cost of staying silent? Not just today, but 6 months from now, a year. What does it cost you to keep carrying this without ever knowing? You don't have to make a grand gesture. You don't need the perfect moment. You just need one honest sentence. That's all it ever takes. There's someone whose name appeared in your head at the start of this video. It's still there, isn't it? Your brain has been working very hard to protect you from a conversation that might change everything. But here's what it's not telling you. Staying silent changes everything too, just slower and quieter and lonelier. You already know what you feel. The only question is whether you'll ever let them know too. If this video felt like it was written about you, it kind of was. Subscribe. Every week we get into the psychology behind the things you feel but can't quite explain. I'll see you in the next one.